This episode may contain language or discussions that may be offensive or triggering. Refer to the episode summary for details. So welcome to She Confidential. My name is Charlene Ketchum, and ladies, y'all have been asking for this conversation, and so here it is. Today, I'm chatting with Tessie Amos. Some of y'all might remember him from an episode that we did emphasizing the importance of Black fathers, and the link to that episode will be in the summary box. But Tessie Amos is a licensed professional therapist, and we're also joined by personal trainer Kevin Patrick. And both of them are going to give us some insights on what's going on with men right now, how they're holding up with all of this craziness in the world, and basically refute all the things that women need to know about men that our girls are telling us that's wrong. So the first question that I have for the two of you is really, how are Black men doing in general right now? Like, we know this, the conversation, and this is a disclaimer, I'll give it once, but we know that everything doesn't apply to all men because all men aren't the same. So we're speaking in generalities. So no need in the comments to say, oh, that's not all men. We know that. We're speaking in generalities. So in general, how are men doing right now with everything that's going on in the world?
Okay, well, I'll go first, Brother Patrick. In general, I would say it's been my experience in my practice as I see Black men and as I socialize and talk with Black men that we're not doing as well as we ought to be doing. Black men are becoming awakened from the inside and are now, for the first time in many of our lives, are having to deal with the rest of our emotions. It's always been okay to express happiness, and it's always been okay to express our anger, but it's all of those emotions that come in between, the sadness, the hurt and broken hearts. We are now starting to have to deal with those things as women are becoming more independent as they should, getting stronger like they should. They are demanding certain things for themselves, and we are a little under-equipped to handle those demands. We want our women, we want our Black women, we want you just how you are, but we have to have time to learn how to have you. And so some patience, some kindness, and some understanding while we undergo this new construction and changes of ourselves will be much appreciated. But I would say we are as strong as we've ever been. We haven't gotten weaker, and dealing with these emotions is not making us weaker, it's actually making us stronger. So we're getting ourselves together for you. If you be patient, you're about to get a bomb ass dude on your hands.
I can agree with everything he said.
Yeah, that was like the promo for like, here are all the perfect men right here. So one question, so Tessie, I know a lot of women who will listen to this conversation, and this isn't a question that I provided to y'all, but one of the questions women always have is, where are all these men? Where are all these good men or men who are ready to be in committed relationships? Where are they? Like, where should women be going to find these men?
You want me to answer that?
Either one of y'all can chime in.
Go ahead, Brother Patrick.
I wouldn't necessarily say there's any specific spot that you're gonna find that man at. From being in my profession, hearing from both sides, men and women, a lot of men are actually ready to commit. It's just that they are scared to open themselves up to be that vulnerable and actually settle down with the woman, because of what they are seeing now. Like, a lot of women, it's basically, they come across women as more of a, what can you do for me?
My perspective is, I don't know if any of you ladies have ever gone hunting or been around men or people who have hunted, fished, but a lot of times when you hunt, and this is in reference to find, where do you go to find? When you hunt, sometimes you come back with nothing. All hunters know that. You go off into the woods, you do everything that you're supposed to do. You in the places you're supposed to be, you set your traps, you got everything set up, right? You got your shooting spots, you got everything's going fine for you. And yet you come back with nothing. It's the price of being a hunter. Even the best hunters sometimes come back with nothing. When you go fishing, sometimes you catch, right? If the fish are in the water, you're going to catch, right? But there's some fish that you have to throw back. Some fish are not edible. Some fish you don't want to eat. Some fish are just too small, and this don't make no sense. We wasn't fishing for nuggets. We was fishing for fish that we could turn into nuggets. So we throw some back. Keeping that in mind, ladies, if you're going to be a hunter and a gatherer, if you're going to be a fisher person, you're going to come back with nothing sometime, and you just have to accept that, right? If you're going to fishing, you're going to catch some that ain't right, and you're going to have to throw it back. And that's okay. That's part of the game. Don't get weary with the game. Keep playing. What do they say? Shoot or shoot. If you're going to do that. Now, I'm from a bit of an old school perspective, a biblical perspective, where it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So I don't believe that you should be hunting and gathering for men. I don't believe that you should be fishing for men. I think that you should be perfecting yourself, perfecting your walk, perfecting your talk, becoming the best at whatever it is you're doing. And then you will be found by the correct fisherman or the correct hunter. And this is how it will work. And then when he finds you, he knows, even if he's not ready for you at the time, as most hunters oftentimes sit in front of that big buck, they wasn't expecting to get the 14-point buck. He's a bit more aggressive. They might not have the proper load to take him down in one shot, but they're not going to not shoot the shot. They're going to try to aim more proficiently so that they can definitely get a kill shot with what they do have. So if you position yourself correctly, you'll be found by the right man, even if he don't have the right load to get you right now. He'll put himself in a position to keep you after he gets you. We always find a way to bring back our catch. So you just have to be ready to be found and perhaps not searching so much.
And so how is it perceived? Because one of the things that a lot of the women asked when I said, what questions do you want me to ask the men, was how do men feel about women making the first move, and what qualifies as being overly or being aggressive in a woman? Because a lot of women stated that they don't feel like they should have to sit around and wait for a man to make a move. But what you just illustrated highlights why it's important to let men move when they're ready. So what qualifies as being aggressive to most men in terms of a woman trying to go after them or pursuing them or showing interest in them?
We intimidate easily, right? We got these big, broad shoulders, a lot of muscles,
Really?
strong backs. But yeah, we intimidate, and we don't even let you know we intimidated. I'm gonna just give you the truth. I could lose my player card right here, but seeing as how I'm married and don't care anymore, I'm gonna sacrifice the ability for my return to the game here. I might actually be retired fully after this comment right here. Ain't no comebacks after this one. But look, so we intimidate easily. So when as a woman, when you are the aggressor and you come to us, it shakes me. It shakes us. Because the way society is set up, those norms suggest that I should be in charge. I don't think that you should water that down at all. I don't think that you should do that. I think that you should understand that a lot of men are not prepared or ready to deal with that, but that's not your fault, right? You don't have to water yourself down or pacify yourself just to make us feel okay. We ought to be growing and mushroom. When I met my wife, I wasn't ready for that woman. I was not ready for her. She was indeed the aggressor. After I spoke and called her beautiful, she took over the conversation and ran with it. I actually wanted to leave because I wasn't ready for all of that. But I stayed the course. And it was through her patience, right? Through her understanding, through her knowing, because she had 3 brothers. And so she had a very good understudy of men as she was growing up. 3 different brothers who moved differently in 3 different ways. So she saw that sometimes men don't always have it, but that doesn't make them a lesser man. So it was the patience that she shared and showed for her brothers that she was able to show for me. And then she wound out hitting the husband lottery. Yeah, I'm gonna brag on myself a little bit. She wound up hitting the husband lottery, right? And so with that, it was the patience. So I don't think that women have to do anything except for just exist. It's solely upon us to get ourselves ready to have you if we're gonna have you. And what that looks like is that you might have to, keep your eye on something. Let it be there for a while. Use it for what it is and see if it'll grow to be what it needs to be. But one of the keys is just not giving yourself away so fast. You can't give up everything because it didn't take me much to get everything. So why am I going to work hard? I'm not motivated anymore. You done gave it all to me. Sometimes you got to ration that thing out. And I'm talking about all of love, not just get your mind out the gut. I'm talking about everything.
Well, I was going to clarify.
You got
to
ration.
what?
You got to ration yourself out. You can't give me all of your emotions, all of your love, all of your sweetness, all of your tenderness, and I ain't shit, because then it won't motivate me to become shit.
Yep.
Come on, man. Go ahead,
bro. I can agree. Like he said, don't come out and like everybody has baggage. So like don't come to your next relationship and throw all your baggage, especially in the beginning, because men do take that as aggressiveness. We will shy away. That will scare us off with that. Another thing that you had said was like giving it all away. Me being a personal trainer, I get it all the time. The flirting, all that, I'm engaged. So I'll let you flirt with me all day. You can flirt with me all day. I don't care. It does not move me. It does not bother me. We don't too much, like you said, we don't have to try for it anymore. They just throw it at us. If they want it, they're aggressive. They gonna let us know right out the gate. Whereas it used to be the men like that. It's role reversal now. So like the men are taking that seat of like where the women was. Now that's what the men are now. And the women are taking that man role of being, I'm gonna go talk to this man. I'm gonna throw it at him. I'm gonna let him know what it is, put it on the table, and that's what it is. And we supposed to accept it. And that's what women are looking at like, hell, that's how they used to approach us. So why not approach them the same way? Big time role reversal now. Big time.
And speaking of roles, Kevin, since you brought that up, let's talk about that real quick. If all I've been hearing for at least the last 20, 25 years is we're equal. We want equal pay for doing the same job. We want respect. We want our dignity. I don't want to be treated just how I look or my body or what my hair is. I am not my hair. That was a very popular song. And so all of these things, and you fought hard. The women's movement did what it was supposed to do. So you cannot fight like that for equality. And I don't know what made you think that you wasn't going to get some of these problems that we have too when you get equal to us, right? I never thought that you were beneath me anyway. Let's get that cleared up. But since that's what the movement was about and we're here, you now gonna get some of these problems equally that we have. We have equally had trouble finding suitable mates. We have equally had trouble deciding who was gonna be at the head and who was gonna be at the tail. So you now have to deal with that, right? And we do too. We have to understand that women not just taking the back seat anymore just because they're a woman. If you meet a powerful woman that's a mover and a shaker, there's nothing wrong with her being the head. We have to accept that. Those men that won't are going to cheat themselves out of a very, very important and endearing relationship. Women, you're still going to have to remember that if you run into a powerful man that checks almost all of the boxes, except for he doesn't need you to be in the head, you may have to consider stepping back for that man. Not any man, but for that man. That may be a plausible reason why you're not in a solid relationship, because you didn't realize that it's okay for me to step back for this one or step aside. Right? So we got, like, if you're going to be equal to us, you're going to have some of these problems that we have too. We've been struggling. We've been getting hit hard at the top as Black men.
Yeah. So two questions I have. And again, this is a great exercise for me. And because I'm listening and not responding, this is really good. Which is really hard, but it's really good for me to do this. So one of the questions that I had, though, in listening to you, Tessie, you mentioned that your wife had 3 brothers. And so she kind of knew how to interact with men. She was more equipped because she had brothers. But a lot of women, even if they have brothers, they don't necessarily have men in their lives that are good examples of how they should expect to interact with men. They may have like bad examples. And so all they see is messiness. And so they become messy. So how do women where do women turn who are trying to get some insights about men and they don't have those positive male role models, or even men who they have platonic relationships with, so they can kind of learn and get those insights? Because a lot of times we turn to other women, and that's not always the most helpful, insightful place to go when you want to talk about men.
Yeah, you have to take what you have in reality and literally stop dreaming this man up. Like, what's before you is what's before you. Go ahead and deal with what's before you. It's like a lot of times we meet each other, and this is on both parts, but we meet each other and then we automatically go to what I want you to be instead of what you are. One of the things I had to do with my wife is I had to learn to love her how she was. I couldn't wait until she changed into what I wanted her to be to open up my love. I loved her full-fledged, just how she was. She was argumentative. She was definitive all of the time. She was very headstrong. She was used to being at the top, a single mother of 3. She didn't share responsibility. She didn't know anything about that. And so I had to learn to love her like that in her power. And then once I did that, she saw fit where she could find rest in me. Right. And so, again, remember, if you're going to be equal to me, you may have to do that for somebody that you're dating, because this is what we do as men. And I'm talking about those men who manage safe and successful relationships, not just any man. If you want to be in a safe and successful relationship, you have to remember that you're equal to the man that you're trying to be with. So it may be your responsibility to learn to love him how he is and open up all of that love, right? So that he can come back and give it to you in return. Now, you don't have to do that. We can stay old school. And it's kind of contradictory to something that I said earlier about rationing yourself. So you got options. You got options. It's a game, remember, right? So you can take the game plan of rationing the love out and allowing him to catch up, or you can go ahead and love that man how he is and see if he can come back and do the right thing. But it's not through absence of communication. You have to be open with your wants, your desires, and your needs. My wife consistently told me what she wanted and what she needed. And it hit me like darts and arrows because it was everything that I didn't have or wasn't doing. But I didn't shy from it. I decided that I would go ahead and acquire that then. I decided that I would acquire this skill or acquire this emotion or acquire that bank account, because I didn't have it like that when I first met my wife. And she let me know that it's certain things that she don't feel like she should have to pay for, even though she can. And I said, well, I can't do that right now, but I hear you. I hear you. I'll get there. So.
You've got to do a whole masterclass on communication, because you just said something I think, and I have said this as well in the past, where we say, well, he should just know. He should just know. And we get upset so much because we have this idea that y'all should just know. But you just emphasize that we gotta tell you, even if it may not be something that you can make happen in that moment, like we have to let you know what our needs are, because a lot of times you don't just know.
Especially in the beginning. And a lot of times what happens is you've watched your parents, if you had 2 loving parents, and it seemed like your father just knew. Maybe he wasn't laying in the bed with them when they was pillow talking and she was telling that man what she needed. And then he woke up the next morning and just went to did it. You wasn't laying there when she was telling him, oh, I love coming home to a well-cut yard. I love coming home to this. I love it when you do this and you do that. You just saw him do it and thought he just knew. He didn't know. She told him. You have to let me know. I'm not a mind reader. There's no magic that goes into that. That's cartoon. That's Disney stuff where the prince just comes and he's everything that she needed automatically, right? You got to tell me that. You have to absolutely tell me what you need so that I can either show you that I'm a go get it and be able to do it, or show you that I'm not. Then you don't waste 4-5 years waiting on me to figure it out. Let me know early so I can get to it.
And you kind of just answered my next question was how should we respond when you tell and there's like, okay, I've communicated this over and over and over again. I'm telling him I like that freshly cut front lawn when I come home and it's weeks and it doesn't happen. And so now I have to hire somebody to do it. Like all those different things when we start nagging. So you kind of answered that question when you said, if you see that you're saying this and this person is being non-responsive, that's not something you need to contend with for 5 years. So how much, like, what's the line between patience and you just letting somebody waste your time? Because a lot of the women lamented that. They said, I'm patient. I tell this man this over and over and over again, or I'm waiting for him to commit and it doesn't happen. So where do we need to be drawing the line between being patient and just, wasting your time?
I don't think that you could actually put a time limit on it, but if we learn to date properly, right? So what you have to do in dating, and this is from a clinical standpoint, you got to take sex out of dating. Just because you're dating somebody and you got that itch and you want to be filled up and get your ribs tickled a little taste, you got to pull that out of there. And then you can date whoever the hell you want to date. You don't have to date one person, right? Who said that you can't have a plethora of friends? The problem comes in when you screwing 5 or 6 different men. Right, then you get and there's nothing wrong with that either, because that's your body. Do what the hell you want to do with it. But it's going to come with the social norms that you're now a hoe. But that's just social norms. You don't have to feed into that if you don't want to. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is if you don't want to have multiple sexual partners, then take sex out of dating and have fun and get to know people and have the hard conversations. Then you don't feel cheated. Right? Because most men are still willing to pay for dates. All you got was a bunch of good meals and some drinks and some movies and some concerts that you ain't even had to pay for. Right? But when you start giving to these different people, this is what a problem comes, because the more you give me, the more you expect from me. And then if I show you that I can't do that over a reasonable amount of time, now you feel like I've wasted your time. But you have to take the onus and responsibility that you participated as well. You can't put it all on me. You participated. You stayed with me for 4 or 5 years too, so you wasted my time as well.
And I appreciate that you brought up sex and dating, because that's something that a lot of people kind of glaze over, because right now we're in this big movement of, let's just be free and do whatever we want to do that makes us happy. And we're trying to get rid of these labels of being called a hoe or whatever because of how you choose to live your life. And, and I'm not saying that people should be labeled something just because of who they choose to have sex with and all that. But I appreciate that you as a man mentioned, and I saw you nodding, Kevin, so I think you were in agreement. I appreciate that y'all acknowledge the role of sex in dating, because when you take it out, it can really alleviate a lot of the dramas. And so thank you for bringing that to the forefront. So are a lot of men actually thinking about that, aware of that sex can be kind of problematic in dating? Or is this just something that women need to be cognizant of?
I say both need to recognize that, sex does play a major part when it comes to dating. Like I was telling him, you have to take the sex out the equation. Take sex out the equation and see what else the person has to offer. Majority of the time, sometimes you'll find that sex is all that they have to offer. And then you will see right from the beginning that you can't deal with that person. You don't even have to waste your time. You don't have to stay there long. They'll put it on the table for you. Like, sex is all I had to offer. Now, that's your choice if you want to move on with it. But like I said, once you take that out the equation and really get to know the person, communication and understanding and communication, I put those right there together, because you can communicate all you want, but if you can't understand what's being communicated, it means nothing. So that's how I feel about like the whole sex issue. Take it out, especially at the beginning of dating. Get to know each other. Really sit down and get to know each other. Know each other's likes, dislikes, what triggers each other, all that. If this is the person that you're really trying to be with, get to know them. Really get to know that person.
if you introduce me to your doggy style before you introduce me to your lifestyle, that's what I'm gonna spend my time having conversation with you about. And then everything is gonna be about getting that ass. At the end of the day,
Yep.
after this
Yep.
movie, as soon as we get through eating, I'm gonna smile and skin and grin. I'm gonna say what I gotta say with the whole motivational factor of getting that ass tonight. If you date me and I
Yep.
know that sex is not part of the equation, a lot of men are going to move around and not waste your time because they realize that, right? So
Yes.
Yep.
a little known fact, when I met my wife, I had already taken a vow of abstinence. I had been abstinent for 2 weeks inside the vow. I don't remember how long it had been since I had sex, but I actually took a vow of abstinence where I went into prayer and I asked God to cover me while I go sexless. It had been 2 weeks before I met my wife and we started dating. I had to tell her that I was abstinent because I didn't want her to think that I was afraid or scared of her if we got into one of those situations. She surprised me and came back a few days after I told her that and asked me, could she join me in abstinence? I said, well, no, you can't join me. You can take a vow of your own and we can be abstinent together. And it was through that abstinence, through me not having to worry about if she was going to give me head or if I was going to have sex and vice versa, or what that felt like or what it was going to be like. I got to know the true essence of who she was. I made a decision if I could deal with this headstrong, independent, indecisive, control freak of a woman. I liked her. I liked her. I liked her a lot. I was like, damn, this is interesting. She's challenging me in ways I've never been challenged before. So much so that I was intimidated when we got ready to break our vow, because my vow of abstinence was until I fell in love, real love, or got married. And I was too damn old to be talking about all the way till I got married. Mind you, I was 39 years old. It's just, I ain't gonna play with myself now. You know what I'm saying? So I knew what it was. Until I fall in love or get married, because I might not have gotten married again. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get married, but I knew I could be in love. So that was my vow. That was my commitment to self. And so in that, once I got to know her and who she was, I was so enamored by who she was as a person that I was fearful that I wouldn't be the right sexual partner for her and would ruin everything. And I literally struggled the first few months out of the gate with that on my mind. If I'm going to be enough, can I master this woman? Because that's every man's goal in sex, is to beat you down. I don't want you to beat me down. It's a competition. I'm trying to take you out, woman. Will I be able to do that to this dominant, prominent woman? I was afraid, y'all. I was afraid, right? And all of that excitement and that energy and the passion that you hear me speak of, all of that came from abstinence of sex. It's a beautiful thing, man. Sex is great. Please don't, ain't a person on the planet Earth that started fucking and never stopped. Everybody gonna get some sooner or later. It might be a minute, but you gonna get right back in it. So we know sex is good. It does what it's supposed to do. It procreates, and it has to be that good in order for that to happen. So, but if you can abstain long enough to really get to know somebody and let somebody get to know you, you won't feel so cheated as you have to cut these, as you have to throw some of these fish back or come out the woods with nothing this time. You won't feel cheated. And then when you find the right one, man, that buildup is, come on now. That buildup was amazing.
Yeah.
What is it that most men need from women that they're afraid to admit or ask for?
That's a good one right there.
That's a good one.
I think what most men need, I think what most men need, they need from another man. It ain't much more women can do for us. You guys are magnificent, just how you are. Iron sharpens iron. Like, we have to help each other, right? If I heard Kevin say that he was engaged. If I feel like I have the key to a successful marriage, if we were to develop a relationship, it would be incumbent upon me to share those keys with him so that his marriage can be successful. We have to start going after ourselves and looking after ourselves. Women have always had girlfriends that they could go to and rap to and talk to and help them become better women. If you got a girlfriend and she's a power, Charlene, how many of your girlfriends have you empowered just by being the powerful woman that you are? It's rhetorical. You don't even got to answer that. I just want you to understand the context of what I'm saying. We don't typically do that for each other. As a personal trainer, I go work out with this man, knowing that I got a successful marriage at home, knowing that my life is beautiful. But I'm gonna hit these damn weights and make sure I'm eating right and try not to look like flubber in front of this dude that's all in great shape. And I'm gonna leave. I spent an hour and a half with this man, and he giving me everything he got as a personal trainer, and I'm giving him nothing as a husband, even though I know he engaged. See, so if I go work out with him, I got to talk to him about being married and what that looked like, what those sacrifices look like. So I don't think that women have. I don't think that we need to get anything more from women. We need to get it from ourselves. And women need to understand that. Stop trying to give me everything because you can't. You don't have it. And it's okay. It's okay.
I can agree. We don't need much from y'all. We do need more support from our other brothers, though. We don't support each other like we should. Like you said, I give away free information basically all the time while I'm training. But one of my clients can have some information that I need, but they don't talk about it. You know, like he said, he's married, I'm engaged. He can have valuable information I need, but what good is that information if he's not sharing it with me? You know, women, like you said, y'all had a girlfriend, y'all go out, get drinks, talk about everything. Y'all have, hell, y'all grown-ups, y'all still have sleepovers as grown women. Like, that's the type of bonds that y'all have. Like, that's the type of bonds that y'all have. Men don't have those bonds. Our bonds basically go as far as going to watch a sports game. And then after that, we go our separate ways. And even at the sports games, we just sitting there drinking and talking about the game. We don't talk about like life issues and things like women do. So like he said, we need more support from our brothers than we do from the women.
Exactly. We sit up and talk about our cars, what we got next, looking at each other's shoes. This cuff's too big. Checking out his wrist piece. And, you know what I'm saying? Telling them fishing tales. Well, you should have seen the one I had last week. Oh my God, dog. I was in there. Get out of here, man. You spent the same 15 minutes with her that you spent with the other chick. You don't work out like that. Stop lying, man.
Yep.
He got an hour and a half in you 4-5 times a week. Boy, bye.
Yep. Yeah.
Out of here.
Oh man.
That's interesting. So that's what y'all talk about.
I'm gonna lose my player card. We be like, honey, baby, sister, girl, we be lying our ass off.
So who do y'all talk to? Because you're right. Like with women, if I'm sad or just feeling anything, like I don't have a problem with crying or opening up, being totally vulnerable with my girls. So who do y'all go to when you are feeling vulnerable or scared or you need to cry?
Nobody. We keep it to ourselves.
We do.
My outlet, honestly, I either write or I go work out. That's my outlet. It's hard. Like we say, we don't have those bonds with our male friends like women have with their women friends. So we don't trust like y'all do. So at least I know I don't. Me personally, it's hard for me to find someone that I could really go to and open up and know that what I'm telling them, you know what I'm saying, is between us, or I can trust them and their word, or they're going to guide me in the right direction. We don't have that like y'all do. So we mainly keep it bottled up until we finally explode.
Exactly. I created this practice, Charlene, for that purpose, because we literally have no place to go. I want Black men to know, all of the ones that I can reach that can come to me, that this is some space where you can go and you can do that. You can drop that off, those emotions off here, and walk right back out this door and play Superman. But we have to have positive outlets, and we have to create that. I do that for my friends now. I'm mature enough now, inside and outside, and I do that for my friends. And I go to them and I let them know that I see their pain and I see they hurt.
Both of you are fathers, and so I want to talk about that a bit before we wrap up, because you're both amazing dads. And so what I want to talk about with that is really, what was it like? If you can go back and remember, what was it like for you to become a father? Like, how did that feel when you found out you were going to be a dad, even before the baby was here?
Well, you got to take that one, Kevin. I've never had a woman pregnant before.
Gotcha. Getting the information from me, I was shocked at first, kind of in disbelief, but honestly, it made me grow up. I was at an age where I needed to grow up anyway. It made me be more responsible. Really made me, I put it this way, I didn't have the father in my life, but it made me, at that instant, once I found out I was being a father, it was like, that's what it is. Like, I want to be that person for my son that I didn't have. So that made me grow up quick. I was in freshman year of college, actually first year of college. Came home for spring break after my mom told me not to. And ended up getting my girlfriend at the time pregnant. Got the news. And like I said, it just made me grow up quicker.
So my expectancy didn't come through pregnancy. And it took a little more than the traditional 9 months. I started dating and fell in love with a woman who had 3 children. And I knew early on that if she was going to be my wife, if she was going to be my forever person, she was going to come with that entire package. So as we dated for those first 2 years, I knew that I could be with her. That was pretty much a no-brainer after probably the first night. I'm not going to even lie. She caught me. She threw me off. But when I had to consider her as a mother and her with her children, so I had the beautiful opportunity to watch her children and learn her children as I dated her. Now, it would be 6 months before I dated her, for 6 months before I met the children, because she also vetted me and wanted to make sure that I was safe to be around her tribe. And once I met the children, I began to learn them too. And then we dated the children. Because they were still young, they were 8, 12, and 15. So trips to the zoo, trips to the bouncy house, trips to Incredible Pizza, no plugs. All of those things were still fun for them. These were some wonderful children. They weren't thug babies yet. They are now, but they weren't then. So those family fun outings were wonderful. So I had an opportunity to watch them. And so my expectancy began to grow, like, oh my God, I have an opportunity to be a father to these children. They're going to need this. They're going to want that. I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do that. And I started thinking about all of the things that my dad did that I hated. I hated those long ass lectures. I would rather you whoop me and send me back outside than talk to me for 2 hours. So I said, okay, I'm not going to lecture them because I got the lesson 45 minutes ago. Pop, why are you still talking, my dude? So I remembered those things and I began to employ those things. But I also knew that I can't come and automatically be the man of this house, right? Even though we got a home together once we decided to get married, I wasn't automatic. So I literally asked her teenage son, would he be okay if I became the man of the house? Because I don't know how to do anything else. And I said, but don't answer that now. You go think about that. And I told him what that meant. That meant that I would be helping his mother run this home now. And that what I would say would have more weight now. So if I said, take out the trash, that meant now. If I said it's time for you to do the dishes, that meant now. If I said, let me see your homework, this is an exchange of power that when a woman already has children, they have to be willing to go into as well. We can't make them do that. We have to get their permission to do so. So he came back and he said, yes. I then went and asked my daughter, who was the leader of the 3, she's the ringleader of the 3 gangbangers. She also said yes. but I went further and I asked her, I said, I believe that every girl should be a daddy's girl. Are you okay if me and you develop a relationship where you'll be my baby girl forever? Like, that's what I want from you. I want you to be my baby girl. When you 44, I want to say, hey, baby girl. And I want you to answer because that's a term of endearment. And she smiled and she started crying because she's a thug, but she cried. and I said, okay, this is going to work. And then I went to the shooter of the game, which is the young fella. He's a sniper. I went to him and he was like, man, I don't even care for real. Like, long as my mama happy, you dig? I'm like, okay, little gangster. I got you. But basically I got all of their permission. And so that's what grew my expectancy. And it was a promise that was made to me when I was a young person that I would have a beautiful wife and some kids. And because my first wife was barren and couldn't conceive, and I didn't have children with her, and I wasn't going to have children out of wedlock, I tried everything I could to not be that dude because I didn't want my windows bust out and car scratched up. I didn't want my new chick beat up and stuff like that. So come on, Charlene, stay with me. I tried my best.
I did any of that for folks in the audience.
I tried my best not to have the quotable baby mama situation. And I did well by that. So I've never actually had a woman pregnant at all. I had one woman tell me that, but she was just trying to get some bread. And I told her we was going to get married because I don't believe in abortion. And she told me the truth. So we squashed that early. And actually, I've never had a woman pregnant. I've never had the 9 months of expectancy, oh my God, my girl pregnant. I don't know what that feels like, but I do know what it's like to be an expecting father. It was absolutely beautiful for me. I wouldn't trade it in for the world.
What do fathers need from women so that they can be like healthy, so they can be fathers? Whether you're in two instances, if you're not with your child's mother, like what do you need from her so that you can be a dad, show up and be a dad? And from your wife, what do you need from her so that you, or your fiance, your partner that you're in the home with, what do you need from women so that you can be a dad?
So I'll answer for not being with the mother of your children. All we need is for you to make it about the child. It's not about you. It's not about our relationship that didn't work out. It's about the child and the child only. I think that's where a lot of complication comes in. They still want to make it about them, and it's not about them anymore. The relationship didn't work out. Oh, well, move on. Let that man see his child. I think that's a big thing. Once a relationship don't work out, a lot of women like to use the child as a pawn. So relationship didn't work out. You on my nerves. You don't get to see your child. Don't call me. Don't talk to my child. This my child. We don't need you for nothing. Men, we get tired of that. Like a lot of men want to be in their child's life. A lot of women refuse to let the man be in their child's life, but their friends don't want to call them out on it. So that's why men get looked at as deadbeats, but I see it from both sides. It's a lot of deadbeat moms out there, but like I said, their friends don't want to call them out on it. Let these men see their kids. That's all I can say. Let these men see their kids. If the man want to be in the kid's life, let that man be in the kid's life. If he's not doing anything to put that child in any hurt, harm, or danger, let that man be in the kid's life. That's all I can say on that one.
Yeah. And so from a marriage standpoint, we just need our wives, or even if we, co-parenting situations, understand that balance is necessary. Like Kevin said, it's about the child, right? It's about the child. If you lay down with a man and you know that man literally has nothing to offer your children, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? But that's still his child. And that child is still 50% made of that man. So you have to allow that man to be part of his child's life some way, somehow. You cannot make that man void. Even if you have a better man with better qualities, that doesn't replace the man who fathered those children. So we just need you to understand that balance. They need me and they need you, right? And they need what I have to offer as well as what you have to offer, even if what I have to offer ain't as much as what you have to offer. And we have to figure that out, and we have to spend time figuring that out. And sometimes, like Kevin said, it makes people grow up. He was a kid with a kid, and he literally said, it made me grow up. So sometimes it happens. I might not have been ready at first, but just because I have a kid, I got to get ready.
Yep.
And give me a chance, I will. But if you alleviate the responsibility, I get to go run off, complain about you, but still be a kid because you won't let me see my kid. Like, you have to, get your feelings out of the way. Heal yourself. Go work on you. Go work on you. You can't be mad because this relationship didn't work out. They ain't got nothing to do with that child.
At all.
Yeah, but just understand that balance is important. That child needs both. Even in those marital situations, I see some mother hens that run and do everything, and daddy just sit there and pay for stuff. No, cut that out. Cut that out. Get out the way. Let that man father. If he said it, damn it, that's what it is. Yep. Now, you might have to talk to him later, like, baby, you went a little too hard. It didn't have to be like that. You know what, baby, you're right. I'll fix it in the morning. But don't confront that man in front of the kid. Don't neuter that man in front of them kids, man.
Yeah.
That's not right, especially if you got sons, because not only are you neutering your husband, you're neutering your son at an early age, right? And you're empowering your daughter in the wrong way.
Kids are definitely watching. I will tell you that. They may not say a lot, but they are definitely watching. Like, my fiance, she has a boy and a girl. Before we got together, I got a boy and a girl before we got together. I went and asked my fiance's son. All he said to me was, "It's about time. It's about time." And once he said that, I already knew everything was good. As far as getting in a new relationship and having kids with somebody that you're not with, I'm going through it now. I'm trying to, not as far as like co-parenting. With the co-parenting, I'm trying to get everybody on the same page. Not necessarily my fiance and the mother of my kids have to be friends, but at least be cordial with each other. Again, it's not about you, it's about the kids. I can't help it that you bitter that our relationship didn't work out and I'm going to get married to somebody else. You just wasn't the one. Like, it happens. As long as you put the kids first and make sure the kids are the focus, I don't see why it would be a problem.
Like Kevin, in that, man, I was married for 20 years before I got divorced. I felt a responsibility before I moved on with my life to make sure that lady was okay because of our investment. And a lot of times men don't do that. We drop you like a bad habit and move on and expect you to get ready. But that was a whole person that I was dealing with. And so another reason why I went abstinent is because I didn't want to be attached to other people so soon and so fast. And I didn't want people asking me questions about why am I still talking to my ex-wife? Why is she still around? First of all, it ain't your damn business. Mind yourn while I mind mine. But I wanted to make sure that she was okay emotionally. There was nothing else I could do for her except for be nice and be kind and provide her with the closure that she needed, because I wanted to move on in peace, because St. Louis is too small. I knew that we were going to bump into her, and I didn't want to have emotions about who she was with, right? And I didn't want to have her to have emotions about who I was with, right? So, it worked beautifully because I made sure that she was mended as much as I could. Most of it was on her. She had to heal herself, but I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave any open, gaping wounds. So we continue to have conversations about why we didn't work out, why we're not going to work out, and why we're not going to get back together until I felt like I had given everything that I could, and now you got to go deal with it. So sometimes we have to do that if we want to end a relationship. We can't just get over it. We got to go back and, give them the respect that they would do. Listen, it just didn't work. We spent a lot of time together. How much more time do we destroy? You're not happy, I'm not happy. Like, come on now. I just want to throw that caveat out there of how we can take better care of one another, even in breakup.
So both of you are really busy, like as fathers. Both of you are entrepreneurs and involved in the community. Like Kevin has done coaching, and then you do community counseling events and everything, Tessie. So how do both of you pull it all together? Because you both have a lot on your plate, just individually, like in terms of your businesses and then community involvement. So how do you balance that and make space for that to also nurture your relationship with your fiance and with your wife? Like, how are you making time? How are you balancing life?
I don't know how it is with people with like really younger children or whatever, but I'm a damn ATM machine to my children. As long as I can give, as long as I can provide some money here and there, they fine as hell, man. They got what they need. But I use our technology, man. I FaceTime with my daughter. I think it's creepy to be FaceTiming with my son. We ain't finna just be, looking all each other all up in the face like that while we talking. That's weird to me. But I FaceTime with my daughter. I still date my daughter. We just had dinner just the other day. But I check and I send my son's text messages and I call him and I say, hey, I haven't seen you because our schedules have us rotating in and out of the house. I just ran into my son on the way to the office today, and I took a moment to stop and give him a hug and tell him I was proud of him and ask him how his work been going for him. And then I asked him, did he have to work today? And he said no. I said, okay, well, I got to go to the office for a few hours, but when I come back, let's share whiskey and rap. He like looking forward to it, Pop. So you just got to take the moments. You got to trust that what you've taught them and how they're living is exactly what you expected, and be prepared to be their buffer if things do go wrong. And then it's those small moments in time that you'll get, and you got to make the most of them. Just got to make the most of those small moments that you get.
Yeah, I can totally agree. I'm the same way. I'm an ATM. But just take the time that you have, the small time that you have, and make the most of them. I don't get much time except on the weekends. During the week, when I go in to train, everybody in the house sleep. When I get back from training, everybody in the house sleep. So they barely see me during the week, but on the weekends, they already know. It's ATM time, as he would say. It's ATM time because they already know on the weekends, we finna go out and have fun. But I try to, on the weekends, I try to spend as much time with them as possible, doing whatever they want, even though if it's something corny, I still gonna do little corny things they like to do. But, just try to make the most of the time that you have, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes. Like he said, he walked past his son as he's headed to the office. Give him a hug, you know what I'm saying? Tell him you're proud of him. I do my son like that too. I check on my son knowing he shouldn't have his phone in school, but I check on him during the middle of the day, like, hey, how you doing? Or I send him a positive text message first thing in the morning. Start his morning off positive. Since my daughter lives in Kansas City, I call her in the morning, hey, send her off with a positive message before she goes to school. It's just, try to just, like I said, make the most of what you can.
So how are y'all staying connected with your partners?
With me, I honestly talk to my fiance throughout the day, all day. I know some people be like, that's too much communication, blah, but we don't see each other that much. Like, she goes to bed early. Like, she's in the bed by like 7:30 every day. So, but she's definitely asleep by the time I get home. But we do talk throughout the day. And then Friday nights are our date nights. Like, we call it, I'm sorry, but we call it fuck them kid Fridays. Like, we don't deal with our kids on Friday nights. Y'all going to grandparents' house on Friday nights, and that's just what we do on our Friday nights. That's our date night. That's our time together. And we don't let anything come between it. Like, we don't care what's going on. Friday nights is our night to be together. Saturday and Sunday, that's our time to spend with the kids. So that's how we break up our time.
That's what's up, man. I was just telling Kevin, man, when I deal with a lot of couples in my office, they have completely lost what the epicenter of that relationship is. And the epicenter of that relationship is the husband and the wife, the mother and the father. Y'all got to take care of each other with the understanding that y'all gonna take care of them kids. It's not that the kids come second or third or fourth or nothing like that. All that priority stuff that people talk, my kids gonna always come first. We know that. We gonna put the kids first. Me and you, we're gonna put the kids first. But in order to put them first, we gotta take care of ourselves first. Yep. We gotta be good so that we can make sure that they good. Yep. If we ain't good, they ain't gonna be good. And if you can accept that, then that's what it is. But like I was saying, I date my wife all the time. Like, we stay somewhere, man. We stay somewhere out, having fun, have a couple drinks and run back home. It ain't nothing to pour up. I don't even like wine, but I pour it up because she do, and have wine with her and let her talk to me. Sometimes she gets to talking so much, she be like, "Girl," I be like, "Hold on, damn it." Slow down. She's like, "Oh, calm down now. This ain't that." But I make sure I go all day. I don't go all day without talking to her on no day. No day whatsoever do I go all day without talking to her. And then we will get the hell out of town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We will get the hell out of town. Like I was telling Kevin, they got fuck them kids Fridays. My youngest son is 21. My oldest is 27. My daughter is 25. It's been fuck them kids for a nice little minute around our house. Fuck them kids, man. I get that part. No, love them.
Love them to death. Love them to death.
No question do we got them. I tell my sons quick, hey, man, you do realize I'm trying to go to bed with your mama, right?
Man.
I ain't around this motherfucker. Out of here.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
Damn, Pops, man. Pops my ass.
Yep. Gotta find that time. You gotta find that time. You can always make time. Trust me. You can always make time.
You will. And if y'all happy with each other, finding that time is not a chore. It's only a chore when you really don't want to be with that motherfucker anyway.
Yep.
But if you want to be with your person, that's not a chore. It's nothing for me to stay up to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning talking to my wife, knowing I got to be up at 6:30 to get my day going. It's nothing. I'll go off 4 hours of sleep. Plus, I work for myself and I got a couch in my back office. I will take a nap in the middle of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, Charlene, I gotta get back to the business. I'm gonna have somebody knocking at my door soon.
Thank you both. I will share the information related to both of your businesses. Kevin, do you want to share your Instagram info?
You can catch me on Instagram at bodywork_by KP. Or you can email me at the same thing. Personal training. I also do virtual, so I am available.
Okay. Tessie?
Charlene, can you make sure that I get Kevin's information? I think I may gift my wife a personal trainer. She's been doing good on her own, but I'll take her up a notch, brother. So
all right.
It'll be you if she say yes. But yes, sir. I'm making all things new counseling. I don't have an Instagram. I'll be 52 years old in August, and I stays in my lane. I don't even take all them pictures like that. I use Facebooks for jokes and telling stories. I don't have Facebook. I brand my company by word of mouth, making all things new counseling. My name is my brand, Tessie Amos III. I can be found in any kind of way. I have a website, matncounseling.com, matncounseling.com. I keep those things strictly professional. So that's how you can find me for your counseling needs if you so desire. And then I'm at the local bars drinking whiskey and cigar if you just want to chill with your boy.
I will have all those links in the description box. So thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you.